Charity and Ted Bradshaw have been married for 18 years and counting, and they share their life, their relationships, their finances, all of those wonderful experiences with others who are married and who want to make marriage last a lifetime in their book called Staying I Do, Committed, Connected, and Crazy in Love for a Lifetime. You'll meet Charity and Ted Bradshaw today here on Babbie's House. I'm on my way to you right now.
Babbie's house, Babbie's house. Every day is filled with possibility. At Babbie's house, Babbie's house. Everybody is family. Welcome to Babbie's house.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Babbie's House. I'm the host of the show, Babbie Mason, and thank you so very much for joining me today. You know, I love this subject on life and love and marriage. Charles and I have been married 40 years this year, 40 years and counting. And Charity and Ted Bradshaw know that wonderful story of sharing their life and their love with others and helping others to make life and love last a lifetime. They've written a beautiful book called Staying I Do, and I'll talk with them in just a little bit, so stick around for that wonderful conversation. But right now, I'm going to sing a song that I wrote many years ago. You talk about a message for a lifetime. This song called God Has Another Plan. I want you to be reminded today that God has a plan for you, and it's a good plan. Out of the fire, to the flames of another trial. Do you feel like your heart has had all it can take, and nothing is there left to break? In the heat of the fire, He will pull you through. When you don't understand, He is tried and true. No matter the question, there is an answer for you. So when the rain falls hard and the storm winds come and you think it will never blow over, trouble under your feet, nothing over your head, and you find yourself running for cover. remember Jeremiah 29:11-13. This is what it says. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Call on me and I'll answer you. Search for me and you'll find me when you search for me with all of your heart. God has another plan. Oh, yes, he does. God has a plan. I'm so glad you came back to Babbie's house. You know, I think in the culture and the society in which we live, where the statistics concerning marriage are getting bleaker, it seems to be getting bleaker. Even in the church, we need all the help that we can get. And Charity and Ted Bradshaw are doing just that. They're taking their life, their experiences, and compiling them in this book called Staying I Do. I love that title. Staying I Do, committed, connected, and crazy in love for a lifetime. Welcome you all to Babbie's house. Thanks for coming this way.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And so happy that you're here. You know, I love your family. Your mom, Joan Hunter, has been a guest on numerous occasions, and this is your second or third time being here, so welcome back.
Thank you.
But you've come back with your
arm
husband.
candy, yes.
That's right, with some arm candy. That's right. He's a good-looking piece of arm candy, too.
He is.
18 years you and Ted have been married, and you've written this book together called Staying I Do. Now, I can pretty much assume that the inspiration for the book is your marriage, but we want to get kind of in the real nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the real behind-the-scenes inspiration for this book.
Well, first of all, we did not want to write the book. I think anytime you're still living in a situation that you feel called to write in, you're going to know that you're going to live through what you're writing about while you're writing about it. And actually, some of the hardest times of our marriage were during the writing of this book. And writing a book on marriage doesn't mean that you're immune to problems either. And
Or that you have it all together.
Or that you have it all together, because we don't.
There's that assumption
Surprise.
that because you wrote this book, you're an authority and all is
Right.
well and perfect in your marriage.
We can tell you about the last 18 years. We'll update you on the next 18 years in a little bit. But so far, this is what we've learned. And a lot of it is just, the heart is, we've seen family, friends go through or be on the brink of divorce for reasons that are less than divorce worthy. Even last night we were driving around, we saw this billboard that says, "Undo, I do." And you're just like, they're making it so easy to walk away, to step out, to give up. And I'm not saying that there are times when that's not necessary, but I think a lot of times we leave on terms that really have and deserve a resolution. And oftentimes, pride is a huge culprit of what's standing in between the marriage of our dreams and the marriage that we have.
Yes.
Pride in not asking for what you really need. Saying, I should be strong, I shouldn't need his attention, I shouldn't need his affection, I shouldn't need his time. I should be strong enough, I should be independent enough not to need that. That's a lie. That if we buy into the lie that he doesn't deserve to know my true feelings, then I will end up being starved emotionally. And the concept that we call this is drift. Couples oftentimes don't jerk apart, they drift apart.
Yeah, it's a
and it's
gradual
little
thing.
things,
Yeah.
little bits of space that couples allow and permit to come between them, not knowing that one day it would make them miles apart.
You know, when people get married, they take vows. And, you know, the definition of a vow, you know, in the spiritual sense, is something that you stand on. It's an affirmative. It doesn't change. You mean what you say, and you say what you mean, and you mean it for a lifetime. But it seems as if vows now are nothing really more than suggestions.
Yeah.
And Ted, I want to talk with you about, you know, your take on honesty and integrity in a marriage.
Yes, it's one of the key points of communication is having that honesty. And one of the things that we noticed most about her grandparents' marriage that she talked about was that they used to have a phrase called honest to a fraction of a thought. So just a piece of a thought. If anything came into Charles's mind, you know, that was contrary or anything, he would share it with Frances. And so we adopted that from the beginning. As you know, our first date, we kind of told each other the worst things about each other.
Ourselves.
Thinking we
Kind of put it all out
did.
there,
We
right?
Here it is, thinking that, you know, well, if this isn't going to work, at least we got it over real fast, you know, while we're still in the dating phase. And that, we didn't realize how important that was to both of us, because it allowed us both to say, you know, have that feeling like Adam and Eve being, you know, we're totally making ourselves vulnerable and not ashamed of it. You know.
What that does is it allows you to understand and to know that when they love you, not who you are pretending to be. And we wasted no time in our dating pretending to be anybody else.
I appreciate that about you all, because oftentimes in a relationship, in the early days of dating and getting to know one another, we put on our very best behavior, and we're kind of a pseudonym or a pseudo version of our real selves. And so that honesty and communication is very, very important. In your book, you also talk about things like finances. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, statistics would show that finances and financial strain or stress is one of the top killers of marriages. And one of the things that we decided early on, very much with full intention, was finances are going to be something that we are going to take very seriously, have open communication about, and face together, so that it's not another reason. We won't be a statistic because of finances. And so we took, one of the first things we did when we got married, we took Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace course, which caused, you know, I mean, we'd already told each other everything, but now it's on paper, it's in black and white. We see the mountain we have to climb, and we climb it together. And there's a good feeling to be on the other side of a big mountain, like conquering debt and moving forward. And also it's taking care of what kind of pressure we're going to leave on our children. We don't want to be a pressure or a burden to our children. So that's something that we're even educating our kids in now, because my son, who's 14, is like, Mom, what's a 401k? I was like, great question. What is a 401k? Let me tell you why your mom and dad are planning their finances, and for having fun and spoiling grandkids and traveling and not being a burden. But also just having that is one less thing, one less pressure on our marriage is financial strain.
That's good. Ted, I want to congratulate you and cheer you on, because you but a few years ago, got your degree in nursing.
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And Charity, you were a big part of helping him get through nursing school. I know that's right. Pat yourself on the back, and I do too. But you're big on dreams and plans. And I think, you know, married couples ought to dream together and plan for the future. Talk to me about how big a role that plays in a relationship.
Well, it's amazing, because actually right now we're living one of those dreams. You know, we're doing things together. That's one of the things that we've dreamed about. But whenever we moved to Nashville, I worked at a pizza place beforehand, so I was like, I've got to have a more stable job. So I said, I'll get a warehouse job, because it'll be Monday through Friday, and then I can, you know, be off on the weekends while our marriage was new. But as, you know, Charity wanted to work from home, and we pushed towards her, you know, getting a career that could be from home. Then the dream that I had, I broke my back in an accident when I was in high school. And the nurses, I was in the hospital for 20 days, and the nurses took such good care of me. I always said, if I ever go to school, I'm going to be a nurse. And so having that dream come back as we were married, and sharing it with her, and her not saying, that's crazy, you know, you're a 36-year-old man, you can't go to college, you know. She was behind me, believed in me,
Absolutely.
pushed me. Of course, whenever I said I wanted to be a nurse, my thought was nursing, the job that I'm doing now. It wasn't the studying, it wasn't the test, it wasn't the pressure, it wasn't all of those things.
It's a big job.
That she,
For both of us.
that she had the insight to, and that's the
We had
great
3
thing.
young kids when he started.
That's a great thing about having a spouse who believes in you. Whenever you doubt yourself, they're there to say, no, you're very smart, you've got this, you know, keep pushing on.
And one of the things that I'm excited that we chase our dreams together, and we continually dream new dreams and dream bigger dreams, is otherwise conversation gets boring. If there is no change, if there is no growth, if there is no evolution. And so many couples stay in this stagnant place, and they end up having the same conversations every day, and they get bored, which causes most people's minds to wander.
Yes.
And their hearts to wander.
That's right.
And when you believe in and inspire and foster each other's dreams, you're fostering better conversations, new themes, new groups of people, new experiences, and hopefully prosperity along with that, with those dreams of growing his education and investing in him. When I invest in him, who am I investing in? I'm also investing in myself.
Yourself. That's right.
Yes, and in our kids. I'm so thankful that our children, who we started with 3 and ended with 4 on the college circuit, They got to see him reinvent himself. They got to see him as a 36-year-old man, as a father, say, okay, what I have has been good, but I want great. I want the next level. And they got to see me support him in that. And now they get to see us do a little bit of both. His nursing career and my self-employment provides the opportunity for us to come and visit you. It provides the opportunity for us to speak into marriages at various churches and stuff like that. That's the dream.
Yes.
Being together, inspiring people's loves and growing families, yes.
You know, one of the big hurdles oftentimes in a married relationship is conflict resolution. And I think oftentimes that's usually where the trouble begins, and they start talking about separating and even divorce, is they don't have the tools to resolve conflict. Can you give us some help on that?
Yeah, one of the first things that we did at a marriage, that we went to one of our friends' weddings, and we met this couple, and they did some premarital counseling for the couple. And I said, you know what? I said, if we were to ever get into a fight, this would be the couple that I would want us, and they were licensed, whatever. I was like, this is who I want to go to. And I said, you know, this is probably actually a really good idea to have a plan in place, a neutral party selected in times of peace, that if we need counseling, we have this party that we have selected. So that's one thing, is to have a plan, not necessarily a plan for destruction, but a plan for resolution. So we have a plan in place of people that we would go to who are not inside our church, who are not inside our social circles, way far outside, so that we can have an unbiased,
You're on neutral ground.
Neutral party speaking into our life, Christian, spirit-filled, loving, experienced marriage counselor speaking into our lives. So that's number one. Number two, on conflict resolution, is don't be afraid of conflict. Don't think that conflict is the bad thing. Resolution is meant, some of the best, things I'm most proud of our marriage are the hard things that we have worked through.
Yes, listen,
it's not about having a pain-free marriage. It's
Absolutely.
about working through it.
And we're going to talk more about that when we come back after this break, okay? Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this break with more of Babbie's House and great conversation. Thanks for coming back to Babbie's House. I'm talking today with Charity and Ted Bradshaw in their very insightful book called Staying I Do. I love the subtitle, Committed, Connected, and Crazy in Love for a Lifetime. And we've been talking about conflict resolution before we went to the break. And just an aside, years ago I heard Ruth Bell Graham, Billy Graham's wife, say that for their marriage, divorce was never an option. Murder was an option, but never
Right.
divorce.
Right.
And I love that. But committed for a lifetime. That's why I love that subtitle. But we were talking about conflict resolution, and in the sake of time, is there, when you find your marriage and relationship hitting a wall, and you need a bottom line answer.
Yeah.
And conflict is really a problem. And we talked about counseling, and my husband and I believe in counseling. We've been to counseling, and I'll tell you, it was a savior, in our marriage. But what's maybe one of the first things that a couple should consider when they have a big conflict that they're facing?
I have two for you, real fast. Number one, there's no couch. There's no couch rule. And we put this in our book. We resolve everything before we go to sleep, which sometimes meant that we didn't sleep. Because some of us, we would hold out. We're both firstborns, we're really strong. But no couch. Don't let anything go unresolved. Don't put one of you guys out of the bedroom onto the couch for the night just because you're mad about something. Bring reconciliation, because today's problems are not meant to drag into tomorrow. That's number one. Number two, this is something that's really important, is to pray, number one, and ask God to reveal to you what is the real problem. One of the issues that Ted had, and we talk about this in our book, so I have his permission, is that he was dealing with an anger issue. And it sort of manifested during his time in college, and I thought it was the pressure of college. During that time, his mom, who had been disconnected from him for 30 years, got reconnected to him. And what was happening was this anger was manifesting because what he had thought was that his mom didn't know and didn't remember because of a head injury. Turns out she remembered everything and knew exactly where everybody lived and just didn't come back for 30 years. And of course, there's a million extenuating circumstances. But here he was manifesting this anger at around that same time. And it took us asking God, where is this anger? What is the source of this anger? And it was a completely unrelated issue to where it was manifesting. And so if you're seeing something in your spouse, or even if you are the one, ask God, where is the real fear? Because oftentimes conflicts or things that we want to get at with our husband, there's a root of fear somewhere. And the thing with Ted at that time was his fear was actually being manifested on our son, who was about the same age that he was when his mother left. And the fear was, don't you make your mom, me, so mad that she leaves us.
Yeah, that's a powerful word.
And I'm telling you, you dial into what that is and you will have freedom, because you will understand this is not about where it's manifesting in this exact moment. It is about something deeper, often wounds from previous situations in our lives.
Relationships from childhood.
And allow God to come in and heal that area, and you'll find the conflict slows down.
Well, it sounds like the book has a lot to offer us. You know, Ted, we're living in a society where it seems like, listen, I'm all for women having their say. I'm all, you know, we're living in a society where women are
Very
the head
pro-women.
Yeah, it's very pro-women. Women are the head of household because they're single moms. But I want you just for a few seconds, just to encourage men in marriage to be the head of the house, to be God's man.
Yes, I mean, I think it's something that we've talked about several times. You know, Charity is a very strong woman. You know, she has bold opinions, and often friends are like, you know, does she wear the pants? You know, they'll wear the pants in the family, and it's not that situation. I have to be strong enough to let her be strong, and that's something that we discovered early on, is that, you know, in the areas that she's weak, I am strong. And the areas, you know, she may be more, you know, outgoing and that kind of thing, which isn't necessarily my bend. But for men, you have to, you know, remember that with all of this power that women are gaining, you know, number one, it's long overdue. But number two, you know, they still need our support. They still need our protection.
And our leadership.
Yeah, they still need our leadership. That's right.
Yes, thank you for that. Tell us how we can get the book.
You can go to our website, tedandcharity.com, or my website, charitybradshaw.com, or any other online retailers. You'll have it there.
Amen. Well, thank you all again for being my guest today. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
It's good to meet you, Ted.
Nice to meet
Give
you.
my greetings to your mom, Joan Hunter. Listen, everybody, thank you so very much for joining me here today on Babbie's House. It's always my joy and pleasure and privilege to bring wonderful guests like Charity and Ted Bradshaw to share their life, their experience with you, in the hopes that you'll grow in your faith and in your relationships. Will you do me a favor and reach out to me today at Babbie.com, or email me straight up at Babbie@Babbie.com. It's pretty simple. And let me know that you've seen today's show. And if you have questions or a prayer request, I'll be so blessed to pray with you. Well, God bless you, and thank you for joining me on Babbie's House. Until the next time, may the Lord God bless you and yours real good.